name is Esperanza Mayobre. I'm a visual artist.
Hi, my name's Risa Puno. I'm an interactive installation sculpture artist.
My name is Edwin Torres. I'm a poet.
My name is Frances Negrón-Muntaner. I'm a professor, writer, curator, filmmaker, artist.
Well, I love playing domino because I find it very dramatic.
Dramatic?
Dramatic?
Yeah. You put like fichas en el tablero.
Well, the first one is the first and the last, or maybe when you, destrancas.
Yeah, and then it's passionate and you're counting and then you get mad, like, I'm mad at myself because I made us lose.
Oh.
Like, what's the name of your team?
Oh, we have names.
Nosotros ellos.
No, we're the New York sidewalks.
Okay, the New York?
The New York sidewalks.
Okay, sidewalks. I like it.
I don't know. I'm thinking of gang names, like
Okay.
Okay.
like
And
diaspora dragons.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right.
Diaspora dragons.
Okay.
Like it.
I want to steer the conversation a little bit towards towards this art, like the gate, because there's so much New York in that.
How so?
I just love the idea of like passage, and on one side is that world, on this side is our world, and how much of that is Puerto Rico. Same thing, like how the gates represent all that.
Which is a contrast, I feel, to the sidewalk playing.
Yeah,
sidewalk
this is a privilege almost.
Right.
Sidewalk, you're getting in the way of people's.
And also, the sidewalk playing is public in a whole different way because this is a space of leisure in itself. It's already set up that way, while the other space, you're making it a space of leisure by your practice, by being there.
Right.
Where
You
there's
find
so
this
many.
a New York thing.
No, a Caribbean thing. Like all the las rejas,
Yeah.
how do you call that? Like las rejas, all the fences. Like it's so open here in comparison to where I come from, where it's like gated.
A lot of gated communities.
Well, and you're
gated
scared
spaces.
because you are scared. There's a lot of
But
violence.
also the thing about the gates, they're very decorative.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
there's a personal, like, what is my personal decoration to separate me from you? So I'm putting a lot of like human whatever into like where I belong in the city. So that's what I get from the complication of that.
Yeah.
Is a cool,
Paso.
Paso? Oh. Okay.
Trouble. That means I don't have
She doesn't have one.
4 or
Oh.
6, so I can't play.
So let's go.
Yes.
Oh.
So
The leisure angle interests me because the relationships Latinos have with work in a city like New York.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, if you're buying into the American dream, you don't have time for this.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you make time for this, the perception is maybe you don't have a job. It's associated with laziness.
Did you pass?
did you play in the sidewalks?
No.
This is the first time I played dominoes in public.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
like I'm borrowing somebody's room.
It's interesting, the idea of play being associated with leisure in general. Like there's this book called Repairing Play, A Black Phenomenology, where it talks about, it's trying to widen the definition of play because it talks about, like if you frame play as leisure, then it privileges people who have access to leisure. And in the way that the author talks about it, he says that it says that it doesn't include a lot of play that for example, people of color, for example, there's a game that enslaved children used to play called Hide the Switch, where it was like there would be a kid who would pretend to be like the master and other kids who would like run away. And it was a game, right? And he frames things like torture as an act of play. And so he says that play isn't always leisure and it doesn't always involve consent. Those are still acts of play.
Sure.
And he says that you have to widen the definition of play.
That sounds.
Who's gonna do the shuffling? Me.
Está lavando. And, it's called the boneyard.
Okay. Now.
All right. 6
Six.
pieces.
Seven.
Pieces.
Okay.
Is there an etiquette? You just draw the ones in
There's
front
no
of you?
etiquette to it.
Not at the beginning.
Wait, I only have, so this me?
So what's interesting about that, if it starts in China with influences from India, when it gets to the US, it's associated with people from the Caribbean. And every group from the Caribbean thinks it's their game. You know, as if nobody else played it, right? You know, I was reading that one of the things that happens in New York when a neighborhood gentrifies is that the calls to the police go through the roof on the people that are playing dominoes.
Oh,
The calls
From the new residents wanting to remove the people playing
For
dominoes.
real? That sucks. Oh, because they're loud?
because they're loud.
I guess
They get excitable.
Part of it is that noise. They claim it's noisy, and also because it's clutter. That shouldn't be in the sidewalk.
I wonder if that happens to people playing chess.
I wanted to run an experiment.
Wait, play.
Various experiments. Yes.
They consider this clutter. Interesting.
Oh.
Well, this is inside a park,
Okay.
but if it's in the sidewalk,
Oh,
Nice.
no, I haven't played since I was like, in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens, when we lived there with my Cuban stepfather. Played it all the time. So, barandas during Christmas time, the family would gather. And, yeah.
okay, I'm losing track of who's playing.
I'm gonna be the bossy one.
Thinking.
A trancar. Trancao!
Ahora sí, trancamos.
Let's make some, let's see, I don't know if we're gonna win, but.
Anything?
Comerse la puerta.
Ya tranqué.
No.
Ya tranqué.
Yeah.
I had to
All
make
the-
it
all the
histrionic.
six- all the
Tranqué.
six era.
I think
Vamos a ver.
Yeah.
¿Me puedes matar o no?
A ver. The other thing about dominoes that I discovered is that many people consider it a skill over time. And there are tournaments, and you play for money. So then it becomes play and work.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's like when people say, what is it? Like, what is the expression? There's the expression about like doing what you love for work because then you'll never work a day in your life or something.
Right.
But I don't know, sometimes,
But once you put money in the game,
It's work.
yes,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about being
And
an
it's-
artist because I'm like,
it complicates
yeah.
playing.
It's funny, and it's like a game that is really beautiful because it's like you have to be smart to be good at this because you have to know math. So it's good for your brain. It's good for old people.
Memory. How about the next generation in your family? The younger people.
And they play.
They
Oh,
play.
wow.
How did that happen? Because that's really hard, sometimes.
It's just a family thing. It's a way to be with family without talking. So in a
Which
way,
is great.
yeah. So in a way, it's like we don't have the Thanksgiving drama of people here talking like, oh, I hate Thanksgiving. You go and you play domino or whatever it is.
Not about politics.
And and then you have a great time. It makes me really happy when I'm in the sidewalks in New York and I see, but I know this is because this is cultural for me.
It's like being somewhere else, to me.
yeah.
Like all of a
It is in a
sudden,
way, like in Spanish Harlem.
it
I
breaks
see people-
time and space.
Yeah, it's going back somewhere else. Yeah.
Walking into a different dimension.
But for me, it's a New York thing because I didn't grow up seeing anybody playing in the sidewalk either. So it's like in my reality, at least. So it makes me feel really happy because it feels like community and it feels like, but also I don't feel invited to come in. It's their thing. And
But
I
also-
feel weird to come
To
in.
me,
Like,
it's the players. It's who's playing. I don't think any domino game would make me feel the same way. Like who's involved in the game.
in what way?
If I see them and I feel that they're from the Caribbean, let's say, that's where I get that feeling. Not the game itself only, or not only the game. It's the entire thing. It's who's playing, how they're dressed, who's watching, because there's also like an entourage. And
I do have to say that I've never been in a place in New York where I'm not paying attention to anything that's happening
Well,
around
this
me.
brings us
except
back
us.
to La Finca in Puerto Rico, so it's not okay. Let me see.
So in Venezuela, do women play?
Yeah, my aunt is a champion of
But
domino.
in public.
Yeah, well, not
because
in
here,
public in the street, but
it's a
in,
lot. Actually,
So she
3
makes
women
money?
and 1 man
No.
playing public dominoes in New York is not that common.
yeah, no, I know. I always notice because I'm like, it's almost. That's why I'm so proud to say that my aunt is a domino champion.
So did you hear stories from your champion aunt growing up about dominoes or no?
Yeah, but it was more like it was like she was badass because it was normally a lot of men and then her, and she's like super smart, and it's like not.
It's like the Queen's
super...
Gambit.
Woo! Carajo!
There's this book called Finite and Infinite Games, and they talk about two kinds of games. There's like finite games.
In life, like
In life, yeah. And normally dominoes is a finite game where there's like,
Sure, an end.
an end and there's points. But then there's infinite games where I feel like we're turning this finite game and making an infinite game where like the point of the game is just to continue play. You know, usually
Yes.
like hitting a beach ball in the air
Right.
is that end. But I feel like we're playing this like an infinite game. It's
Do
just
they play dominoes in the Philippines?
some people do.
But it's not like a national game or a national...
Not so much. It's like it's a game that some families play, just like some families play mahjong.
Sure.
My family,
Not
not so much. Not so much either.
Where did you learn to do? Did you learn?
I learned
today.
well, I mean, I learned a little bit like in like undergrad from like my Afro-Caribbean friends, but like but I had to YouTube a refresher for like for this. That's why I was like, what version are we playing? Are we
Right.
playing the version where we have to count the pips at the end of the thing? Because some people play where it's like they have to add up to 5 at the end and you get extra points, or like, for example, like the version with the premios, and I was like, okay, which version are we playing today? So
Premio. I don't think any premios.
yeah, there's,
Okay, you
there's
go
Who starts?
many versions. Oh, okay.
So you learn in the school of YouTube.
I'm looking at the two sides of the domino as being the two-sided lineage of some sort. Is there something there that's worth, I don't know, because part of the prompts were like looking at like where is our lineage and our identity in the game. So this could be a more conceptual place of like, okay, we are two numbers in one, whatever, like two sides, I don't know.
You know, I took that to mean more about, well, the way I read it was the game itself is produced through hybridity because it's multiple influences from different parts of the world, and it moves from one place to another. So
Right.
let's say it goes to Europe and then it gets here. Once it's here, it gets rehybridized, you know, and I guess intergenerationally as well.
Right.
But the pieces themselves,
Remain, right?
I hadn't thought of that.
The pieces themselves is what I'm thinking.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I think
we're philosophizing here.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, if I were to think about it mechanically, right? Because it's like the ones that are the double, right? It's like they're repeating. They're repeating the generation before. They're repeating the information, right? So you could think about it that way. Whether they're-
Doubling, yeah, right.
yeah, like so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Versus
connects to the gate. See, so it's all, you know.
And also,
Yeah.
like, we can be doubling or we can not be identical to ourselves.
or these are the people who stayed and these are the people who immigrated.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
All
Yeah.
right, sure.
One at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the game has
Then the question is like what this line in the middle represents.
the fence.
The fence. Decorative with the little thing in the middle. Yes.
Ah!
Yeah.
Hustle already.
So this is a physical game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a physical game. I mean, we need our bodies to play it,
Yes. Yeah.
which is also strategic,
Yes,
which
yeah.
means that your body acts like a kind of archive,
Right.
you know?
And I see all the tiles as like parts of the body, almost like we're combining. It's like a poem. A poem exists in this way. You're putting things together, and it's always changing graphically. So it's different, like capillary systems, different like Rorschach tests according to how you put things together.
And you know, it's interesting, it's a competitive game, but we also need to collaborate to
Right.
compete.
So it's understanding that you're allowed to have different thoughts inside
Because-
as one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to collaborate in order to compete, in order for someone to win, and then it starts again.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't end.
It
Yeah.
doesn't end. So you're only king or queen for a moment.
Remember that.
Yeah.
question. I did this domino project where at the end of the project, everybody wanted to be Venezuelan.
Okay.
For someone who want to be Venezuelan at this moment in life,
Okay,
that's a
unpack
compliment
that,
to my
yes.
project. Because nobody wants to be Venezuelan right now. I mean, we're a complicated project. People want to marry someone for a green card, whatever.
Sure.
And it's like, I didn't want people, when they think about Venezuela, they now, with what's happening right now, they think about all the migrants that are coming, they think about El Tren de Aragua, they think a lot of horrible things. They think about corruption, that's why we had this dictatorship and all of that stuff. And it's very hard to embody and to say what we really are. And we're a culture full of, like, beyond anything nationalistic thing, because I don't believe in nationalistic tendencies or ideas. It's a culture of joy and happiness and familiarity, and even the way how you guys were describing domino was very different how I was describing domino. It never was about winning, it never was about a prize. It was about community, about familiarity, it was about joy. And that's what I wanted to transmit with my project, that Venezuela is not just a place that there's a corrupt government and military and we deserve what we have because we're a banana republic, or that all of these people that are like militaries, that all of these people that are not migrating here are just like this horrible people that want to come here and invade and the American dream, that we're more than that. And the way for me how to convey that was not to do it via tragedy, but to do it via joy. And it was domino was like the channel, it was like the pieces, it was my way to make the poem that you're talking about. So that's what my project is about, and that's what domino is.
It's ways to get into a complicated history in your own way, like to create new entries, new portals, you know, by not showing the same old, same old.
Well, because the thing about the stereotype is that its power is in repetition.
Right.
It's very flimsy. The minute you actually show evidence of the contrary, the stereotype is in trouble. And one of the things that's incompatible with the stereotype is artistic production, joy, community, contributions, you know. Yeah. So in that sense, I also see a parallel that it's not unique to the present situation, but it's actually in dialogue with a long history.
Totally, and I think that's where we have to colonize back this country, is that we are like told that pleasure and joy, it's my turn, sorry, that joy and pleasure is a bad thing because it's a puritanical country, and joy and pleasure can be a good thing, and it's important to be happy, and it's important to bring joy, and that's something that we have, Latino people and Latino community. So I'm very political about that part, and like it's nice that we in a way, like there's like this thing about bringing joy.
Yes.
No, because there's a correlation between joy and suffering.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's my turn.
No,
sorry.
No, I did this.
Oh, you
okay,
did so.
paso.
Oh.
Okay, let's go.
Oh no!
Dragons.
Okay. Yes. I mean, you could. Yes, and in fact, that is something that is definitely culturally ingrained in us. It's that we are happy people, and even despite sometimes to our own detriment, happy people. But I think, but I do think that there. And in fact, learning to grapple with our colonization and tell those stories, you know, because it's like there was the Spanish colonization for, you know.
No, but I want to jump on that.
Oh, you're waiting to win!
No, I wasn't saying that.
No, but I already know the look.
Yeah. No, but I just want to jump on that because the idea of like, somebody asked like years ago, well, describe what is Puerto Rican poetry, what is Puerto Rican art, and it's like I was trying to think, well, how can you define something besides a language? And there's something about the Caribbean, or maybe nations that are smaller nations that maybe are going through pain and joy, where there's like a survivalist ethic that anything is possible, and that's where joy comes in. A quick little tangent is that there's also something very calming about order and connecting dots to things and seeing like, oh yeah, I did this. It kind of connects with my own syntax, I'm allowed to kind of go in this location, so that helps too.
No, I was just talking that it's that all groups of people.
Nice, la cochina.
La cochina.
Yeah. It's like one step ahead of me.
Comerse la puerta.
Ay, sí, tengo que ver.
So how much more that we have to lose
It's
here?
a good thing we're not counting the scores.